Okay, welcome back. This tutorial is going to show you how to create the delete behaviour. All of this information, as I said before, is in the worksheets provided. You can find those on NCG online, and I've also provided you all with a copy, a hard copy. But those of you who are more visual amongst us, who prefer a video a demonstration, then this is where you'll probably find this much easier. And hopefully it helps. Okay, so first of all, we're going to go back to our insert and list page where we started from, and we're going to do exactly the same thing as we did the modify. We're going to highlight the delete text. We're going to direct it to the delete page that we've set up, that we've created. Now we're going to make sure that the relative to is to document, the parameters and set as user ID, so on. Okay, exactly the same process. It doesn't change. Happy with that? Control S on your keyboard and save, or file and save here. Okay, the important difference here, we're going to go to the delete users page. But before we do that, we're going to copy the record set that we already have set up in the update user page. It's just a quicker way of doing things. You have to do that, reinvent the wheel basically. You've already created a record set. So copy it as you would normally do, take it across to delete. I won't do it because I've already got it on my page, so I'm just going to do a blank page and show you how you paste it. In the grey area at the top of the bindings box, right click and paste. Hey presto, there's your record set right there. Saves you a bit of time. Okay, so here's our delete users page. I want you to go ahead and put in a heading and then basically fill in the details. But what we need to do first is give the page a heading, like I say, and then use the bindings panel to insert some details that will identify the user. And this is the same as displaying details in list users. You're basically dragging across the record set fields. And then we're going to add a submit button, I'll show you the cancel button later on. Okay, so first things first, you would insert a form. Alright, there's the record set. You can drop down there so you can see your records. Before you can do anything dynamically, you have to actually insert a form. There it is in the code. If you're in classic view, you can see this across the top. If you click on forms and highlight the form tab, that will then give you this dotted red line around. So everything for the delete will go inside that form. So you're going to type the word name, and then from the record set, bring across the first name. So you would drag it across. Then the same thing with the family name. We're going to drag it across just as we've done before. And then the username, we're also going to drag that across as well. That's going to go there. So you're going to type everything else in and then just drag the fields across as required. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, the next thing we're going to do rather, is add a submit button, and we're going to name it delete. Okay, so you'll find the buttons across the top here. There's the button, and if you click on the button, if I just click on it so you can see, if you just highlight that button, and you can give it an ID and you can give it a label and everything there, but you can do that later if you want to. But in the ID, just call it button, for example. So basically, I'll show you off the form, and then it won't impede on anything that I've created. So I'm just going to call it button. And click it. It's asking me if I want a form in there, because it won't do anything without it. But you can see there, I've got an ID on there, and I've got on the button. If I highlight the button, you can see I've got a form ID. Basically in here I can then give that button some variables. So the value is submit, for instance. If you don't want that piece of text, you can always remove that later and just have the button. Okay, so I don't want to create a new button, so I'm just going to get rid of that. Take it back. Perfect. So There's my button, and the value on the button is confirm delete. Okay, I'm going to submit. Leave everything else as it is. The button name is button, and so on and so forth. Okay, so in order for that button to do anything, we have to insert what's called a hidden field. Now, you won't have seen this before. This is a new thing. This will be a new concept for you. But we insert the hidden field because it doesn't display on anything, but actually does behave dynamically. And this will be used to pass the primary key to the delete command. So name the field. So we need to name the field user ID. Okay. And we're going to use the get user record set also for that hidden field. So basically, first things first, let me show you how to create, where to find a hidden field. Again, it'll flag up I need to put this into a form, so I'll just put it into a form for now. But basically, there's a form, and the hidden field you'll find here. And when you click on that, you'll get your hidden field, and you just double click to basically, you've got your values here at the bottom in the properties panel. So just delete that and open the hidden field that I have already preset. Okay, so the hidden field is going to be based on the user ID. Again, be very careful that it's the same as the database. And then if you hit the Thunderbolt, this is where you're going to click the user ID field in the database. Click OK when you're ready. Okay, and that's basically, that's all it takes, you know, sort of for a hidden field to be created. It's really quite straightforward. But what we do need is a server behaviour for delete. So we go over to our server behaviours here, and you see I have one already created. So I open that up, and you can see there are all the settings. Let me show you how to get that in the first place. If you drop down on your your little plus button here, and you go down, you can find the delete record wizard. And the delete record wizard, let me just go to the untitled so it doesn't impede with anything that we've got. I'll show you it when we click on it. And there's your delete record wizard. Okay, back to the delete page and open up the one that we already have created. Okay, so first check if variable is defined. It's the primary key value, the school's connection, the user's table. Again, obviously, it depends on what table you're using, but in this case, we're using the user's table. The primary key column is user ID. It's already set to numeric because the user ID is a numeric value, of course. Okay, and what we're doing here is we're making sure that what we have in the primary key value isn't URL parameter but form parameter. Okay, it's very important. Change it from URL parameter to form parameter. And then we're going to find the insert and list page. When we're happy, click OK. Okay, so that's the behaviour for delete. Quite straightforward so far, no problems there. So you can try that out. You can try that, make sure it's going, working and so on. But what we do need to do is make sure that there is a button on there for the user to be able to cancel if they don't want to delete. Now they could click back or they could, but it's not really good practice. It's more professional to have a button on there that says cancel. Okay, now that there is no wizard or anything else like that. We have to put the PHP in for that, but you guys are very lucky that I've actually given you the code. And you'll find it on page 12 on the worksheet, point 10. Okay, now it's very important where that's placed. But let me show you that first of all we put the button on the page. So in the same way as before, we're dragging down a button, we're clicking on a button and we're putting it in, and we're going to call it cancel. Okay, so its ID is cancel all the way through cancel. The only thing that isn't on the value, we've got a capital C. so it looks right on the page, but everything else is just called cancel. Okay, so if we go, we need to now look at the PHP. So I'm just going to go to code and scroll up to the PHP. So what we're looking for is the delete behavior. You can use find and search and find if you like, but there it is. Okay, there's our delete behavior there. If user ID, delete from users where user equals ID, that's the PHP. Okay, that's created for us, thankfully. Okay, when it's deleted, it's going to go to the insert and list.php. You can see it's pretty straightforward. Here's the important point. The piece of code that I've given you, i.e. this, which is directly related to that cancel button. See where it says cancel here? I'm highlighting for you here. Yeah. That you need to type that in above the delete behavior. Okay. What you don't want is for it to be deleted before the user has the opportunity to click cancel. Remember what I've said before. In web design, the coding is line by line. It's read line by the browser. So in other words, you want the opportunity to cancel the function before the delete happens. Okay, it's really important that you put that piece of code that I've given you, that you'll find on page 10 in the worksheet, and you need to put that before the delete behavior. Okay, but you can see it picks up, stands out, delete. Okay, I can't give you the row, I can't give you the line of the code where the code's going to appear because it depends on how you set your page up, but basically just to know it's before that delete behavior. Okay, so when you're happy with that, just Control S on your keyboard to save what you've done, and then you can watch it in action. Go back to the list page, remember what I said. You have to start from the list page because that's what's picking up the ID. Okay, so we hit F12, and so let's say we want to delete Ed Miliband. So we click delete. We go to our delete users page. Ed Miliband is on user ID 51, and he's no longer Labour leader. So we're going to delete him. And we confirm delete. That then takes us back, and you can see that Ed Miliband is gone. So let's watch it going. We're going to put, I don't know how you spell his name, but I think it's that. 1, 2, 3, 4, me, and so on. Not that I'm getting political or anything, but there you go. We've put him in. Apologies, Jeremy, if I spelt your name wrong. Okay, that's it as far as the delete is concerned. What you need to do is have a look at the worksheet in a little bit more detail, read it through. It gives you some additional information that you might want to know. You can always go back through it, and you can watch this video whenever you feel like it. Hopefully it's helped, and you'll be able to get your server behaviours working brilliantly. Okay, good luck.